you ever watched a movie from another country and felt a little confused? Maybe the plot didn't well land, maybe the jokes didn't make sense, or maybe you just felt like something was missing. Well, me too. In 2020, the Korean film Parasite won the Best Picture at the Oscars, and while millions of people who watched it worldwide could not speak a word in Korean, many viewers noticed that the subtitles didn't fully capture the emotions or meanings of the original Korean language. This raised the question of how much of a foreign film's message actually gets through to an international audience. Thanks to streaming platforms like Netflix, HBO Max, and others, more people than ever are watching foreign films, and that's amazing. These movies are a powerful way to experience other cultures, their traditions, their beliefs, and their struggles. They help us to see the world through someone else's eyes. But here is something we often forget. What we see isn't always the film in its purest form. We are watching a version of it, one that's been translated, edited, and even recommended to us by algorithms or our friends. And that version can change how we connect with the story. Subtitles, dubbing, voiceover, these aren't just technical tools, they're interpretations. For example, critic Marcus Lawrence even describes subtitles as a form of textual violence, where the massive beauty of a foreign language is trimmed down for the sake of clarity or speed. Another example of Iwana Mazur, who agrees and says that subtitles often shaped more by the expectations of the target audience than the filmmaker's original intent. All these examples show us that important moments can be lost or reshaped. Characters might come off differently, cultural jokes might be erased, or even emotion can be flattened. Translation is never neutral. It's always a choice, and that choice affects how we understand the story. And then there is cultural framing. Our cultural background consists of the story we grew up with, the politics we're used to, the values we believe in. They all shape how we interpret what we watch. For example, did you know that during the late Soviet Union, watching foreign films with voiceover translation became a kind of a quiet rebellion? As researcher Yulia Gloshneva explains, those voiceovers weren't just practical, as they symbolized access to the world without government control. Watching foreign movies became a way to imagine something different, and even at the international level, cultural framing happens. According to Anthony Diamonds, early film festivals weren't just about art, but they were often shaped by political interest, with national embassies deciding which films got shown. So even the foreignness we see is sometimes filtered by political choices. But it's important to remember that it's not just about the films, it's also about us, the viewers. Our preferences, our habits, and even our unconscious biases shape how we receive or perceive a film. Some people, for example, avoid watching international films altogether, not because the story isn't good, but just because they don't want to get to the subtitles thing. As journalist Aya Romano points out, the debate over subtitles versus dubbing isn't just about style. It's tied to issues like class, xenophobia, and accessibility. Subtitles can make foreign films more authentic, but they also remind us that the story isn't just about our language. So as the director Bong Joon-ho once said,
once you overcome the 1-inch tall barrier of subtitles, you will be introduced to so many more amazing films.
When I was writing this essay in the script, I realized that this topic deserves more research, especially from people around the world and not just American audiences. We need to understand how translation impacts viewers in different languages and cultures. And moreover, as AI tools begin creating and translating more media, we'll face even more questions about how meaning is shaped and who gets to shape it. So, to conclude, I want to say that foreign films are more than just entertainment. They're cultural messengers. And it's up to us to receive those messages with openness, curiosity, and a willingness to look beyond the subtitles. So, thank you for watching. If this made you think differently about the movies you watch, leave a comment below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.